Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of The Outer Worlds. We are back at the geothermal plant and it's time for us to divert the power. As I've said before and alluded to many times, we're going to be favouring the Deserters faction rather than the town of Edgewater itself. That means power is going to be going to the Botanical Lab and away from Edgewater. Which I assume is going to mean our friends there are not too happy, but Reed Thompson really is not a likeable man. And Spacer's choice as a company doesn't really fit with the way we're playing. Let's sell our junk while we're here. In fact, we're quite full on a lot of stuff, so let's go through and mark things up that we're going to get rid of. Light machine gun. I am going to hold on to the light machine gun just in case we have a lot of things we need to get rid of quickly. Shot cannon is kind of tempting to hold on to as well. It would eat the same type of ammo as plasma though. And the DPS is about the same. Let's get rid of it. Assault shotgun, that goes. Light assault rifle, that goes. Light pistol goes. We don't need another plasma cutter. So we'll get rid of that. You know what? I'm gonna get rid of the stun baton as well. We've got a shock weapon just in case we need one. Light pistols go. Assault rifle goes. We don't need two LMGs. Let's get rid of the broken one. Let's get rid of both of these impact hammers. That light pistol. That's a fancy shock stick. Way better than a normal stun baton, but still, I suppose it's got mods on it. That's the big thing about it. All right, you know what? We'll hold on to it. And the bolt pistol, we've got a pristine one, so that can go. Over on the armor, that's all fine, and then it's just about getting rid of the excess med stuff. Okay, I think that's good. These mods do weigh a little bit. Let's keep one. Of most things. That feels fine. I still can't believe that they've made us a deputy and we're going to completely betray them. Right, sell the junk. That's freed up quite a bit of weight. Okay. Diverting power.
Excuse me, ma'am. Look, I know you want your power regulator and all, but I just gotta ask you.
Sure thing,
Do
Pavati.
you understand what you're about to do?
Yeah, I'm about to get a power regulator. I wouldn't mind hearing your opinion, though.
I don't think you should cut off Edgewater's power. I think it would be cruel. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That just sort of came out all at once.
I'm willing to listen.
Edgewater's hurting. We've been losing workers year after year, and corporate hardly ever sends replacements. There's barely enough saltuna to fill our bellies anymore. But the town's got some good people in it. Decent, hard-working folk just living their lives the only way they know how. They don't deserve to be punished.
So, what about the deserters? They're a community.
Miss McDevitt's built something beautiful. Somehow she's talked the ground into giving life again. It's plain to see she's made the Vale a better place. Fed the hungry, tended the sick. Gave a home to those that had none. but Miss McDevitt delights in Edgewater's suffering. She wants to hurt the town. Do you really want to be party to that kind of hatred?
Okay. Well, Reed tells me that Edgewater's going to die without workers in power.
That sure sounds like Mr. Thompson. If he was standing here, I imagine he'd remind us of how we're all one big, happy Spacer's Choice family. In Mr. Thompson's eyes, those deserters are still part of the Spacer's Choice family. The family must work together in order to survive. I hate to say it, but I think Mr. Thompson's got a point. Unless those deserters come back, Edgewater's as good as dead. Cutting off their power might be the only way.
Well, that's actually swayed me. All right, we're gonna lean into Edgewater then.
Sorry, I didn't mean to babble on like that. I felt like I had to say something.
Well, I'm glad you did. I like hearing from you.
Really? I mean, wow. Thanks. No one's ever told me those words in that order.
Okay. Use the terminal. So, plant status. This access report brought to you by Spacer's Choice and revealed geothermal plant operating at 22% efficiency. It is currently being distributed to the Soltuna Cannery and the Botanical Laboratory. Redirect power. Warning, safety failures detected. High likelihood of moderate to severe structural damage. Redirecting power is an irreversible procedure. Continue. Okay, we are going to redirect power to Edgewater. Power successfully redirected to Edgewater. Botanical Laboratory power regulator is now safe to remove. Edgewater Soltuna Cannery power regulator is now operating at optimal capacity. Permanent power failure detected in Botanical Laboratory. Blatant disregard for Spacer's Choice property has been logged. Please report yourself to your designated supervisor for an immediate reprimand. Thank you for serving the Spacer's Choice family. Okay, well, let's head and get that power regulator before they decide they want to kill us. It's only 200 meters. We don't really need to fast travel over there. But we might need to go in with a plasma rifle, just in case they decide that they don't like us after what we've done. I think heading in the main entrance is the right thing to do. You know, we've got to own our choices in this. Well, there are still some bits left on these guys. How about in here? There's still a couple of things as well. So clearly I did a brilliant job looting this when we came past previously. I was a little bit focused on what we were doing though. A couple of extra energy cells. Can't grab that poster. Since we found that previous one, I do wonder if I've missed any. More stuff over this side of the road as well. Bypass shunts, very welcome. I have to remember that we want to up our hacking and various subterfuge skills. All looted? All looted. So my question is, are they going to hate us? And are they going to instantly attack us? Looks like they're standing around trying to figure out what's going on. Let's go round the edge first, get the power regulator, and then we'll talk to them. Super sneaky.
Got it. Heads down.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't think we can... Can we get in the back? It's sealed, so I probably should have opened that up first. Let's try sneaking around this side. Nothing to see here. Nope, nothing to see. That's going to make it a bit harder to steal.
That's the thing about growing old. Your eyes start to fail. Elsewise, I would have seen you for the snake that you are, chopped you into pieces and roasted you on a spit.
Hey, not a snake.
This is all you're doing. Cutting off my power, killing off my garden. Without refrigeration, my food will spoil, and my flock will starve. I want to ask you this in private, away from the eyes of my flock, so they do not see me lose my temper. Tell me, why did you do it?
The impassioned talk from Pavati. But Reed needs his people back.
You want my flock wasting their lives in that cannery? Fine. Go and talk to them. Go talk to Grace and Thomas. Look them in the eye and tell them their life here is over, and the only thing left to do is go back to Edgewater. This is now your responsibility.
I don't have to do that.
You tell Reed Thompson that I will never return to Edgewater. I would rather die among my flowers than live under his management.
Well, that's a real shame, but what happened? All the anger has to come from somewhere.
My son worked in that cannery. When the plague started coming, he was one of the first to fall sick. We had a store of medicine locked away, but Reed refused to treat him. Said my boy didn't deserve treatment. Said the medicine would have been wasted on him. So I buried my boy in the cemetery, gathered my belongings, and left. That's as much of the story as you need to hear.
Well, fair enough. But I'm willing to deal with Reed for you.
You offering to cross Reed off, huh?
Maybe.
This some sort of twisted reparation for what you've done? Or you just looking for a chance to sow some chaos?
It depends on what you sell it to me
Reed
as.
if you must, or talk him into leaving if you can. He and I are not sharing the same four walls together.
Well, we might still be able to do this diplomatically then. Well, Reed isn't going to just leave his post. I'll need some help convincing him.
Tell Reed that I can make his people healthy again. I can end their plague. Start a new garden right in the cannery. 3 square meals for every man and woman in Edgewater.
All he has
Tell
to
him
do
how
is
I've
walk
made
away.
the veil bloom again. The soil has whispered its secrets to me, and I alone know how to breathe life back into the earth. The secret is human corpses. I've been growing
Okay.
them up in my fertilizer for years. Marauder, worker, don't matter much to me. The human body is rich with nutrients.
Well, that it is. But, what happens when you run out of corpses?
Edgewater Cemetery's got corpses aplenty. Enough for a generation's worth of crops.
That's an interesting idea. But right now, I'm going to take this. Just so it's done, you know. I guess we don't need to hide anymore. Can I open this back door? No, it is still sealed. Well, let's go have a chat with people. Hey, all. Funny
One
thing.
of us want to go see what happened?
The power went out, right?
What happened? Sprat fell into a transformer again?
Everybody keeps staring at me. It's not my fault the power's dead.
No, it's really not. You won't survive without power. It's time to go back to Edgewater.
I've been thinking about going back. I'm not much use to anybody here. I get sick thinking about working at the cannery. I can't do that again.
So do something else. You wanted to be an engineer.
You know something? I think you're right. The town could use another engineer, and I'm on my way to becoming one. I could do a lot of good in Edgewater. Maybe even keep a garage of my own with a little workbench and my very own toolbox.
That's kind of cute.
It's just... Adelaide's never gonna forgive me. Not in 100 years. I go crawling back to my old life in Edgewater, and I'm as good as dead to her.
Don't worry, I'll handle her. Stay put, I'm going to try and talk Reed in stepping down. Yeah, alright.
You know where to find me.
Okay. I think we're going to have to go and talk to Reed first.
I don't know what you did to talk some sense into Zoe, but I appreciate it.
Well, there's nothing left for you here. Time to go
The
back
matter's
to
been weighing on
Edgewater.
me. Zoe came back, but I couldn't keep her from slipping out in the first place. Who's to say I could keep marauders from slipping in?
It's
I
a
don't
lot
see us lasting more than a
easier
couple of weeks out here.
to keep things
I'm
out
loath to
than it is to
admit it.
keep them in.
We're gonna have to make our peace with Thompson and hope he takes us back. Listen, we go back to Reed, hat in hand, begging for our old jobs back. Well, Adelaide's not gonna forgive us. She never talked to us again.
Alright, well, don't do anything hasty. I'm going to try and talk to Reed.
Sure, suit yourself. I'll be here.
It's possible. We could make it work. I don't know if we've got the diplomacy skill for it, but we'll try. So, down at Edgewater, we could always murder him as well. There is always the option to murder him. So, up at the top of Edgewater. I don't think Pavati would go in for the murder, but it might be necessary. We want to go up, which is going to be actually in here and in the elevator at the back. Okay, we might have to do something really, really nasty. It's for the greater good, though.
This is a fine day, friend. Power flows through our town like a cool stream of water. I trust Adelaide's people have seen their way to reason. So, when can I expect them back at their posts?
About that, I'd like you to step down. So, actually, yeah, I wanted to talk to you about
Go
something.
ahead.
We need to have a word about the plague.
Can we not? Talking about unpleasant things always gets my bile up.
You withhold medicine from your own workers.
If I had enough medicine to treat everyone who fell sick, I would, but I don't. I can't save everyone. So I have
Okay.
to choose.
This is not useful, but you let Adelaide's son die.
Adelaide's son was barely competent. I treat him with our medical rations, and it looks like I'm playing favorites. Now, I will not pretend to understand the suffering Adelaide must have felt on account of losing her child, but she is not the only one to have felt such suffering. I wish she had stayed with us. Adelaide left us when we needed her most.
Well, that was ultimately your choice. How long has the plague been happening?
That I cannot say. There was no moment when the plagues began. Disease always lurks on the fringes of society, waiting to infect the idle and the lethargic. But
Not
in the last 10
really.
years, the plagues have become progressively worse and increasingly frequent.
Well, you should have developed an immunity after repeated exposure to a single strain of contagion.
Corporate doesn't like us using the word should. It encourages the imagination. I believe plague is a test. It is a test of our loyalty and our fortitude, and it is one we will see through to the end.
Yeah, let me ask you something
Go ahead.
else. So, have you taken a look around town lately?
It is my job to keep 2 eyes on my town. I am the steward of this place, and this is my watch post.
Well, the town is falling to pieces.
I wish you wouldn't say things like that.
I'm just observing. Do you disagree?
Yes, as a matter of fact. When I stand at my window and look out over my town, here's what I see. I see decent, loyal, hard-working people. I see a family. We are all part of the Spacer's Choice family. We are all doing what we were brought into this world to do.
Yeah, but it's still falling apart. Right. I should go. Let's have
I
another
appreciate what you've done.
chat with him. So I spoke to Adelaide. She won't come back as long as you're here.
Then we are at an impasse. Stewardship over this town has been entrusted to me by Spacer's Choice.
Well, we could maybe
am-
sell it to him on that.
I have made my share of mistakes, but I have done my best for this town.
A change of leadership might be what the town needs.
I am a Spacer's Choice man. My father was a Spacer's Choice man. Edgewater may not look like much to some buttoned-up freelancer, but it is my home.
Okay. Well, Adelaide's people aren't getting sick with plague.
I don't believe you. Plague's a reality of life. Best treatment is a good work ethic.
That's not right. The town doesn't eat anything but saltuna. Wait, have you people ever eaten an actual vegetable?
The very notion is just grotesque. A raw vegetable? Why don't you just ask me to go chew the bark off of a tree?
Oh my god, he's so...
We are a Spacer's Choice Saltuna.
so sold
kid.
into it.
We eat Saltuna here, and only Saltuna.
I'm pretty sure it's your food that's making you sick. You need Adelaide's garden.
I don't understand. You say Adelaide's growing her own food, but that should not be possible. The soil's gone sour. Company said as much. Our own botanists couldn't grow decent crops for us, so the company got rid of them and shut down the greenhouse.
Well, she's found a way to grow food. She'll come back if you step down.
You will excuse me for being skeptical. How exactly is Adelaide
Ah,
growing
you see, I
crops in
know
barren
this.
soil?
Agreed. All I know is it involves some really complicated maths, and it works. No, she's been using human corpses in her fertilizer. She's growing her crops with... Yeah, she's growing her crops with a special fertilizer.
And when you say special fertilizer, you mean what exactly?
Fine, corpses. Corpses. Mostly human.
Adelaide has been using dead bodies in her fertilizer? That's... Come to think of it, that's a stroke of brilliance. What a remarkably efficient solution. Recycling Spacer's Choice property long after its date of expiration. I was wondering about those missing bodies in Silas's cemetery.
Oh, well, I'm not in the mood to argue. You want Adelaide's help? Step down. Let's be nicer about it. The town needs her. She won't come back as long as you're here.
So Adelaide wants me gone. Trade my life for the life of the town. You understand what she's doing. If I leave town, I'm as good as dead. If I stay, Edgewater will die of attrition. Adelaide has discovered some secret cure for the plague, and she is holding my town ransom.
Well, I can't make the decision for you, but the town could use all the help it can get.
If Adelaide's found a way to feed her people and cure the plague, then she deserves this office more than I do.
Yeah.
I won't
Good
stand in the way.
man.
My life here is ended. Give me a little time to settle my affairs. I'm sure Adelaide will be glad to see the back of me.
Cool. Well, this can't be easy for you.
I have always tried to do right by my town. It has never been easy.
Well, what are your plans next?
A couple months ago, I might have put in for a transfer. It's a big colony. Spacer's Choice has other towns. Now, I couldn't show my face in any of them.
Well, why not?
No such thing as an honorable resignation. Suppose I could find a place outside the walls, or put in for early retirement.
Well, you won't last a day outside the walls, especially not because I've killed everyone out there.
I don't know. I could see myself lasting a week.
Well, that's very, very cocky. Take care. So, what have we got? That requires Reed's key, which we don't have. Let's head back to Adelaide. So if I go to the region map, we should be able to fast travel straight over to the botanical. And now we can have a choice.
Sorry.
A little chat.
I'm just trying to figure out what to do is all.
Okay. Let's just talk to Adelaide. Looks like we can't do any specifics with the individuals. Your victory is at hand.
Look at that. The snake's come back.
I talked Reed into leaving.
I never thought I'd see the day that Reed Thompson abandoned his post. Suppose we all have a breaking point. Suppose it's time our flock made our way back to Edgewater. We must tend to what remains of the town and carry on with our lives as best we may. You're vexing to me, you know? Injuring us with one hand, helping us with the other. Here, I'm giving you something to leave us be. It's a ransom, you understand, not a reward.
Alright, well... Edgewater's better off with you running the place.
You're telling me you did all this just to put me in charge of Edgewater? Stranger, you are some kind of twisted.
It kind of all worked
I
out
might
in
turn
the
that
end.
old cannery into a garden. Got ourselves a whole cemetery bursting with bodies. I need some time to gather my personals. Long walk back to Edgewater. Got a considerable burden to carry.
Well, that got us a whole ton of XP. So, in our journal, we have the part that we needed. We don't have any botched quests, so that's good. I think we can finally return to the ship. Just before we do, though, let's have a look at our reputation. So, Groundbreaker, former colony ship turned space station, we don't know that. The Iconoclasts, we don't know them. Mark Stellar Industries, we don't know them. Sublight Salvage and Shipping, likewise don't know them. The Board, so we gained a little bit of positive and a little bit of negative. The Halcyon Holdings Board of Directors. Okay. And then we've got the Deserters who love us and a little bit fear us, and Spacer's Choice who love us and less a bit
I know, I'm trying to think.
dislike us. I think we can just head straight back. There may be other things for us to find in this area, but I think we've done a pretty good job of exploring it all. Back to the landing site. I suppose we could sell the things we've got just before we head off, but I don't think it's strictly necessary.
Is this your ship? Oh my stars, she is just so handsome. Does she have a name yet? What's her drive model? Oh, gosh. Listen to me babbling. When I was in Edgewater, I dreamed of flying on a real ship, working on a real engine, belonging to a proper crew.
Yeah, proper crew.
I'm
Me
nearly just the
and the
mechanic
vicar.
Edgewater's got, but every time I think of going back, I get this sinking feeling.
Don't worry, we left the chap in charge. It'd be fine. I can understand you not wanting to go back. You did not seem happy there.
Well, it's kind of you to say that. And you're right. I wasn't happy. I want to ask you something, and you can say no. But can I come with you?
Yes.
I could tend to your engine. I know my G-valves for my catalyzers, and I can keep your ship singing. And if you ever need a pair of eyes watching your back, I can do that too. What do you think?
You've more than proven yourself so far. So I'll be glad to have you along. Pick a cabin and it's yours.
Yes! I mean, thanks. You won't regret this, ma'am. Captain. I can call you Captain now. Ha! I got a captain.
Yes you do. Right, let's go talk to the ship AI.
Well, I certainly am looking forward to flying on a ship named the Unreliable. I'll just head upstairs and claim a room.
Don't pick mine. Alright.
Captain, I have detected that Edgewater's power supply is now optimal. I applaud your willingness to invest your time in the local community.
Thanks, Ada.
What can I do for you, Captain?
Well, I have the power regulator.
Do you know how to install a power regulator?
Not so much, but yeah, I think I could probably muddle through it.
Outstanding, Captain. Your aptitude for engineering will prove invaluable in the event of another catastrophic engine failure.
Yeah, let's hope it doesn't come
Our
to that.
engine room is located behind you. Across the cargo bay, up the ladders.
Okay. We'll go and install that then. Yep. And we have power. Oh, it's starting to move. Some bits moving more than other bits. There we go.
What can I do for you, Captain?
Well, now that we're all installed,
All systems are operating within acceptable parameters.
does that mean all the lockdowns
I am
rescinded?
prepared to bring the Unreliable into low-altitude orbit. This should prove an adequate test of our flight capabilities.
Sounds good to me. Hold on though, I need to take care of something. I wanna check all the doors and stuff to see if now that the power's in place we can have a little proper look around. So that's all sealed. Those are sealed as well. Yeah. I think we're not gonna get anything extra until we hit orbit. So let's do it. Let's get the ship up there.
Welcome back, Captain. All systems are now operating within acceptable parameters. Shall I take our ship into orbit?
Yeah, let's get out of here. Well, it's a pretty smooth takeoff. I'll give it that. Against all odds, the Unreliable takes flight.
We have received a communication request from Dr. Phineas Wells.
Ah, yes. The guy that woke us up. Oh, I've been waiting to hear from him.
Aha, there you are, hale and hearty, and captain of your own ship. I see you're putting the Unreliable to good use. Shame about her former captain, horrible way to die.
Yeah.
How are you feeling, by the way? I lost track of you in that cave back there. Experiencing any unnatural drippage? Perfectly normal side effect of thawing, I assure you.
No, just time dilation. I've been feeling a little lightheaded. Also, I can slow down time.
Oh, that, yes, that's probably permanent. I wouldn't worry about it, though. I'm sure you're fine.
Brilliant.
What you saw in Emerald Vale is happening all across the colony. Food shortages, lack of supplies, and basic necessities. We're dying. The chairman, the minister, and all their lackeys on the board are to blame. The Hope has some of the brightest minds Earth ever sent us. If we can revive the Hope's colonists, they can help us undo the board's mistakes. They can help us set things right.
Okay. It
You
seems
need
a
to get to
reasonable
Stellar
quest.
Bay on Monarch. I have contacts there. They'll help me, help us, find the chemicals to revive your fellow colonists. Gladys Kelly, lovely woman, runs a cozy little black marketing outfit on the Groundbreaker. She can get you a nav key to land on Stellar Bay.
Okay, cool. So we've got a couple of destinations we can head to. So why do we need a nav key to land on a planet?
Strictly speaking, Monarch is a moon, terraformed badly, and almost completely lawless. You'll love it.
That's not selling it much.
Captains don't fly their own ships, you see. Your navigation terminal handles the, navigation. Think of a nav key as a set of flight instructions. The board's been confiscating nav keys for Stellar Bay, so we must rely on unconventional means of acquisition. Hence, Miss Gladys Kelly.
Okay, that does make sense. So, the black marketeer.
Gladys and I have been doing business for years. Her smuggling credentials are unimpeachable. If anyone can get you a key to Monarch, it's her.
Well, it's good to know. Can't I just land somewhere outside?
In theory, I suppose you could land your ship in Cascadia, and in theory, I suppose you might survive the experience.
So not
Cascadia
particularly
is utterly seething
friendly.
with dangerous, highly aggressive creatures, more than capable of tearing you limb from
Okay,
limb.
don't land outside.
You'd have to be a lunatic to land in Cascadia, and I'm reasonably certain I tested your brain for incipient signs of insanity. Trust me, talk to Gladys Kelly.
Okay, I can follow the rails. Fine.
Excellent. I'll send her a wireless. Let her know you're coming. By the way, I gave Captain Hawthorne a disguise apparatus of my own design, cutting-edge technology, years ahead of its time.
Is it just
I
like
call
a
it
fake
the holographic
moustache?
shroud. I'm sure it will prove remarkably useful to you. You'll find it in the captain's quarters.
Okay. Do you want to explain what it is?
Marvelous device. I'm quite proud of myself. The shroud changes the user's appearance to mimic that of another. It has limits. First-generation technology, you see, but promising. Exciting to see it in use at last.
Well, we're definitely going to try that
Very
out then.
simply, the holographic shroud uses biometric information contained on standard identity cartridges to generate a holographic projection around you.
So, you mentioned it has limitations.
Only stands up to a casual scrutiny. Use it too long, bound to flicker, blur, something like that. Movement makes it more likely.
Okay.
Best used in moderation. When you see guards in your path you can't sneak past, for example. Maintain your distance. Act normal. No running, no jumping. Don't draw their attention. If they pay
So
attention,
it just gives us a
they're
little
more
bit of
likely to
leeway.
notice flaws in the hologram.
Okay. Why do I need a gadget for this? Couldn't I just steal a uniform?
A change of clothes. What is this? Some old spy serial? What inattentive and brainless guard would be fooled by such a shabby disguise?
It's a fair point.
The holographic shroud masks not only your clothes, but your face and fingerprints. It modulates your voice and sweetens your breath.
All in one. I'm not even going to ask how it sweetens your breath, but yeah, I'll put it to good use.
Excellent. I'll contact you once you've found a way to get to Stellar Bay. If you have any questions, come see me in my lab. And remember, don't trust the board. They'll try to win you over with promises of wealth and power, but it's a lie.
I like wealth and
The
power.
board's only interested in filling their own pockets. If we don't put a stop to them, they're going to run this colony to the ground.
Transmission ended. If you are ready to depart, please select a destination on your navigation terminal.
Okay. So we have a level up. Choices. We could push up our stealth, which would give us a more useful lockpick and hack skill. I think it's probably worth us putting our dialogue up. So that we've got a bit more persuasion coming in. We've really not got a huge amount of tech and stuff. But I think if we're going to be dealing with board members, let's go one more on stealth so we get that that lockpick bonus. If I go 5 on here, I could still do 4 more on stealth, and that'll get us. Ooh, that'll allow us to pickpocket people if we wear something that's not giving us a horrible disadvantage to stealth. I can get behind that. Over on the perks, I think reducing our durability loss is going to be where we put our points. And we have the Vicar as well, who we can put a perk on. Increase hack skill while he's in the party. Yeah, we'll have that. Okay. In our inventory, at the moment we're wearing the massive power armor. I think we could probably go for something a little bit less obvious right this moment. There we go. We can now sneak and pickpocket. And our hacking is pretty darn excellent as well. Does mean our dialogue is down a teeny bit, but do we have anything that's going to improve our diplomacy skills? I don't think so. No. Okay, let's go to the captain's cabin. Adelaide's deserters dreamed of an independent life without board oversight. You taught them an important lesson.
Make yourself at home, Captain.
Never dream. So that's for us sorting out Edgewater. Damn. Nothing in the bin, but I guess we can use that for storage. Here's the holographic shroud. So the holographic shroud projects a disguise on you and your companions, gives you access to restricted areas, providing you have the correct ID cartridge for that area. Okay. We just need to be a little careful as we go along. Let's have a look at the captain's log. Some messages for Alex Hawthorne. Let's go for Hawthorne's unread messages from you, Bedford. Udom Wingman's Wingman Bedford. Oh, I forgot to mention in my previous message, silly me, I'm mailing you a copy of my favourite serial, The Space Adventures of Singularity Steel. It's about a dashing space pirate with a heart of, well, steel. It's not exactly board approved, so don't go shoving it around your spacer buddies. I'm hoping it'll amuse you while you're out of adventures. Any similarities to a certain someone are entirely intentional. I love it. Okay. Let's have a look at his archive messages. So he's had a lot of contact with this Hugh Bedford. Dearest Alex, I can't tell how pleased I am to finally hear from you. Your message was hilarious. I'm delighted by your sense of humour and the tale of your hijinks. I hope your terminal will cooperate for the foreseeable future. By the by, I was scraping Groundbreaker's comms network for tasty little tidbits. I noticed you declined to dock at Edgewater's landing pad and instead touched down in the wilderness. Rugged individualist you. I only pray that idiot Thompson wasn't giving you any trouble. Anyway, I hope your meeting down on Terra 2 proves fruitful, and I look forward to corresponding with you with greater regularity. Okay, so Eden Bedford was really communicating back and forth a lot. Alex, I don't know when you were raised, but I hazard to guess it may have been a barn, because anyone with even a modicum of decent rearing would know it's unforgivably rude to ignore the ardent, sincere messages of one's friends. Yes, please respond. Dear Alex, hello, hope this finds you well. It was a pleasure to see you in my office again last week. Once again, I'm terribly sorry about the impounding mix-up. How could it have happened a second time? Terminals these days, I swear, dreadfully unreliable. Just like your ship. I hope you've given some thought to that thing we discussed. You know about the Wells fellow. I'm so sorry to press, but I have the strangest tickling feeling that you really do know him. If you could just tell me where he is, well, it'd be marvellous for our friendship, wouldn't it? Okay, so Udon was really drilling Hawthorne for information. Dear Alex, hello, Udon here, Udon Bedford. We met when I accidentally impounded your ship, my silly fat fingers embarrassing me once again. I hope it wasn't terribly inconvenient for you. It was such a pleasure for me, and to tremendously appreciate your forbearance in not throttling me. You really are quite the gentleman. If you're ever in Groundbreaker's airspace, well, spaceship. Space. Please don't hesitate to look me up. I lost hope serves Spectrum Vodka. Perhaps we could try every colour. You know, really tie one on. Okay. Let's see what he's got in the sent messages. Look, there's no call for shouting. My terminal was busted, had a few too many, and mine had knocked it off the desk. You know how it is. Sometimes you just got to cut loose. But I'm not telling you where Wells is, so lay off. Buy me a drink at the last hope next time I'm in, and I might forgive you. Okay. And then in logs, you have a log about a shrink ray? Captain's note, shrink ray. Note to self. Remember this later. No better. Ada, remind me weekly to check this log until I tell you to stop. Yes, I mean continually. No, Ada, not if I'm dead. Why would you even ask me that? Back to my point. I saw in actuality with my own two eyes a sublimely powerful weapon in Wells' lab, just sitting there for the taking. If the grey hair were to look away or forget about it, maybe, if I had asked a smidgen more nicely. He called it a shrink ray, but wouldn't let me test that claim after I lost my temper. Said he was inspired to create the thing by the achievements of other scientists who dared to push the boundaries of human knowledge and decency laws. I've heard rumours of fantastical weapons like this one, weapons that push the boundaries of the mind and science's cutting edge, but I figured they were just stories, to be honest. Laying eyes on Wells' shrink ray firsthand was enough to make a fellow wonder if there's more to the rumours. More to be had. Okay, how about hammer power? Last time I got sloshed, was imbibing at the Lost Hope on Groundbreaker. I shamelessly but subtly eavesdropped on two Mardits yammering on about a mad scientist some years back who claimed he'd made a huge discovery that would change the fate of the colony. Like, none of us has ever heard this one before, but here's the good part. The Mardit said the mad scientist kept yelling about the hammer's power or something similar. A strange weapon with a special power created by a crazy lab coat. Sure fits the bill. Could be another one of the weapons that inspired Wells. Okay, how about the black market leads? Why won't Wells just give the shrink ray to me, blast him to the depths of the labyrinth on Tartarus and back? Let the record show I did apologise for shouting him down 5 times. But architect be damned, it's just sitting there, neglected and gathering dust. I should have commandeered it and thanked him without asking permission, or breaking expensive equipment when he said it wasn't ready yet, and even if it were, he couldn't entrust it to someone like me. What does that even mean, I ask? That I'm not trustworthy? That I'd use it to wipe out the good, hard-working folk of the colony like some sort of moralless psycho? I'll admit to maintaining some questionable associations, but I follow a strict code of me, myself, and mine. What's not to respect in that? Exactly. Now I have to wait until Wells forgets or thinks he's misplaced it. In the meanwhile, I've been tracking down additional rumours pertaining to others of these science weapons through the Halcyon. If gossip holds true, my next step will be to check with black market merchants on the Groundbreaker and in Fallbrook. So, there is definitely stuff to find. Well, we are getting on a little bit, but it looks like all the... Hello? There's no response from the automechanical unit. The serial number etched on the chassis includes the letters SAM. We're going to have to definitely investigate this in the future. And we've got plenty of stuff that we can steal. First French Dad ever gave me. She's been a friend ever since. I can definitely see us looting stuff from our companions. But that's all going to be at a future time. I'm afraid we are out of time for this episode. Thank you very much for coming along, everyone. I do hope you have enjoyed this. As always, if you have enjoyed it, be sure to give a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so, and you'll be told when the next episode goes live. Otherwise, I'll see you next time for another episode of The Outer Worlds. See you soon.